paraded around by the Western media, and as we all know, they're used as pejorative, as emotional terms only for the Muslims. What about the terrorism of the Western regimes? You see, and you're saying here that it's for you to ask the questions, but when I ask you a simple question about how do you define terrorism, you know, do you think that it's terrorism what the Americans and British and the Danes are doing in Muslim countries? You're not willing to answer that question. I think we can have a discussion. Why don't we be mature? You answer my question and I'll answer your question. Do you condemn the British and the American forces in Iraq and in Afghanistan?
Well, I'm not in a position where I can condemn it.
Yeah,
because
you're not in a position because you'll lose your job. You know that very well. In other words, you're a coward. Let's be mature. Let's speak from our heart. I believe that they're a bunch of terrorists. What do you think?
Well, again, like I said, I can't answer that question.
Exactly,
but
it's all very well.
Can answer.
It's all very well. Well, it's all very well putting a Muslim on the spot and saying to him, condemn all the killing around the world. Whereas you can go ahead, you can occupy our land, you can kill us. That's no problem at all. I have to condemn every single innocent person.
I will also ask.
I have to condemn every single innocent person who's killed. But as far as you're concerned, you know, it's open season when it comes to Muslims.
No, but I will also ask other people questions who are not Muslims, and I will ask them the same questions. Let me just ask you this, Anjem Choudary. Do you think Al-Qaeda is in every country in Western Europe today? And when we speak, are they here or are they there? Are they simply a part of our societies?
I think Al-Qaeda post 9/11 have become much more than an organization. They are a phenomenon which is loved by the majority of practicing Muslims right across the globe. I believe that if there was an election in any country in the world today, Al-Qaeda would win that election if they stood against the current leadership. As far as the Muslims living in the West, I believe there's a revival taking place among the youth. I believe many people support the jihad verbally, financially, physically. I believe there's an uprising in Europe. I believe the time is coming when we will see the establishment of an Islamic State in the heart of Europe. I don't know whether that's going to be perhaps in France, perhaps in Denmark. I believe one day Islam will conquer the White House. We've been promised that one day Islam will conquer Rome. So this is something we're striving for. We do it politically, we do it ideologically. Some other people believe that they can use physical means. Obviously, I'm living in Britain under a covenant of security. I don't believe it's allowed to target the wealth and the lives of the people with whom I live. But people outside of your borders obviously don't feel the same way.
Could that, for instance, be people in Denmark?
Well, obviously, if you go forward and you support, as I said, the atrocities against Muslims in Muslim countries, I'm sorry, but the Danish people and the Danish government then really only have themselves to blame because of the repercussions. I'm here telling you, you know, that you need to take more responsibility. You should stop any support for atrocities around the world, any support for the terrorism which is perpetrated against Muslims, condemn the occupation of Palestine, you know, and condemn those brutal regimes in Muslim countries as well who are suppressing their own people. And perhaps we can have a normal relationship, but I think you're on the wrong side of the fence. You're on the side of the oppressors and the terrorists, and you want the people on the other side, the innocent people whose land is being occupied, who are being killed, to condemn your actions, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you foresee that we will have acts of terror, more situations like the one that we just had where, at least according to our intelligence services, there is connection between Danish terrorists or people who are arrested and Al-Qaeda? Do you think we will see more of that in the future?
You know, as far as this Danish one is concerned, let's verify the facts. If it's true that Al-Qaeda were in fact trying to carry out an operation, it may have been because of the Danish cartoons, it may have been because of the foreign policy, but certainly, as I said, there is a growing resentment and a growing anger among the Muslims worldwide against the atrocities which are taking place, and I can only see these type of operations escalating, and as you well saw with 3/11 and 7/7 and 9/11, it's a matter of time before they break through.
I was just going to ask you this lastly, Choudary, and if you can do this shortly. What would be your message to the sort of ordinary Danish public who are very fearful about what's going on right now?
Well, I would say that the Muslims in your country and the Muslims around the world want to present Islam as an alternative way of life. We are not here to wage war with you. We are not here to force you to become Muslims. Islam is the fastest growing ideology in the whole of the Western Hemisphere. We can live peacefully together, as indeed Muslims, Jews and Christians did in Spain for over 800 years when the Sharia was implemented. Why not in Denmark? We can protect your life, your honor, your property, your wealth. We can provide the basic needs. The Sharia is the way forward for mankind. But don't expect the Muslims, if you attack them and you occupy their land, to give you the other cheek. That is the attribute of the Christians. The Muslims are not like that. We have been told, if you occupy our land, if you attack us, we have a duty to defend ourselves and retaliate.
Arjun Chaudhry, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Og det at stå tilbage var lige præcis det, der inspirerede Osama bin Laden til at skabe al-Qaida. En reaktion mod det, han så som overgreb mod uskyldige muslimer.
Det begyndte med en rig dreng i Saudi-Arabien. En blandt over 50 børn af en af landets rigeste mænd. Den unge Osama bin Laden fartede verden rundt med sin familie, men han var anderledes. Osama tog fra en tidlig alder sin religion alvorligt og interesserede sig ikke for denne verdens fristelser. Så da det ugudelige kommunistiske Sovjet i 1979 invaderede det dybt muslimske Afghanistan, var det nærliggende for ham at drage i jihad. Osama blev en rutineret kriger og, ikke mindst, organisator i det 10 år, hvor krigen rasede. Da det hele var slut i 89, kunne bin Laden og 100.000 af andre hellige krigere styrke sig ved tanken om, at Gud havde givet dem sejren over den ene af denne verdens 2 supermagter. Osama vendte hjem til sit fædreland, men væmmedes ved at se islams hellige steder regeret af en korrupt kongefamilie i ledtog med vantro amerikanere. Han rasede mod kongefamilien og mistede af den grund sit statsborgerskab. Efter et ophold i Sudan flyttede bin Laden med sine tilhængere til Afghanistan, der nu blev styret af ultrafundamentalisterne i Taliban-bevægelsen. Det blev et perfekt samarbejde. Al-Qaida begyndte at tage form i de afghanske træningslejre. I 1998 meldte organisationen sig på verdensscenen med skånselsløse terrorangreb mod de amerikanske ambassader i Kenya og Tanzania.
We will use all the means at our disposal to bring those responsible to justice.
I 2000 sprængte al-Qaida den amerikanske destroyer USS Cole i Adens havn i luften, og præsidenten svor at jage al-Qaida til verdens ende.
It was a despicable and cowardly act. We will find out who was responsible and hold them accountable.
I sommeren 2001 var den amerikanske efterretningstjeneste så meget inde på livet af organisationen, at den kunne advare den nye præsident om, at al-Qaida stod lige over for at rette et stort angreb mod USA selv. Alligevel var Bush øjensynligt lige så overrasket og chokeret som alle andre den septembermorgen, da al-Qaida sprængte sig vej ind i verdenshistorien. Amerikanerne reagerede med at invadere al-Qaidas baseområder i Afghanistan. Siden da har bin Laden og hans folk i varierende grad været på flugt. Men han er stadig derude, kommunikerer med verden via videooptagelser, reciterer digte og inspirerer til nye, blodige aktioner. Tilsyneladende ved ingen af dem, der burde vide det præcis, hvor han er. Men der er almindelig enighed om, at al-Qaida synes at bevæge sig fra at være en arabisk organisation til at være stadig mere pakistansk præget. Og at bin Laden og hans følgesvend Ayman Zawahiri lever og kæmper et eller andet sted i Pakistans uvejsomme og uregerlige grænseområde mod Afghanistan. Et område, som ingen regering nogensinde har haft fuld kontrol over.
وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ.
Vi er på en koranskole, en såkaldt madrasa, i udkanten af Peshawar, nær grænsen til Afghanistan. Skolen har 600-700 elever, de fleste af dem bor på skolen. Det er stærkt religiøse studerende som disse, Taliban og al-Qaida forsøger at rekruttere. Ordet Taliban betyder faktisk studerende på stammesproget Pashto. De studerende er frie til at gøre, hvad de vil, siger skolens leder, Mullah Halib Bonai. Men han hævder på det bestemteste, at hans skole følger regeringens politik mod terror.
When our government say that we are against of terrorism, we are against of terrorism.
Generelt har al-Qaida og Taliban ingen problemer med at hente nye rekrutter til deres træningslejre i de uvejsomme bjerge langs den 2.500 km lange grænse til Afghanistan. Her ved det officielle checkpoint, hvor byen Peshawar og dermed den officielle pakistanske regerings kontrol hører op, og stammeområdet begynder, vrimler det med afghanere, stammefolk, smuglere og andre handlende, og der er absolut ingen kontrol med trafikken af hverken varer eller mennesker. Redaktør Iqbal Khattak fra den store avis Daily Times redaktion i Peshawar er en af de få, der stadig jævnligt rejser ind i stammeområdet for at besøge Taliban, senest for få måneder siden.
During my few hours embedded stay with the militants in Waziristan early this year,